Sometimes we can see that there were many opinions. Typically, the minister focused on the situation that ancient people could use far heavier bows than modern people. Like, for an archer in the Qing Dynasty of China, a 70-pound bow was just a toy you give your kids, or many Asian archers used more than 100-pound bows in Britain, Turkey, etc. So, is it true that the ancient people, especially the Asian archers, were always stronger than modern people, or we can see that the ancient people were able to use more powerful bows? So, in this video, let's talk about this topic. Honestly, it's hard to talk about the topic of studying the draw weight of bows in ancient times, because there were Eastern bows and Western bows, and also there was not only one method or technique of pulling back the bowstring, also known as bow draw, pinch draw and release, Mediterranean draw and release, and some draw and release. So we will slowly talk about it step by step. In this video, we will talk about the topic from the bows in the Qing Dynasty in the first episode. In many articles or posts on the internet, they said that generally the archers always used more than 100 pounds horn bows. Even the emperors also could use the heavy bows with more than 100 pounds to hunt deers as well. In comparison, the modern hunting compound bows usually are 40 to 80 pounds. When we talk about the bows of the Qing Dynasty, we must first make the special unit of draw weight clear. This unit is li, which is a traditional Chinese unit for describing the bow draw weight specifically. So in order to figure out how heavy the bows in the Qing Dynasty, we need to know how many pounds 1 li equals. What if there was a man who lived hundreds of years ago and really tested it, and plus he could write a book to explain all of things? That would be the best thing. Very fortunately, it was indeed there was such a man in history, and he was the Etienne from France. In 1896, this French mister published his book, and this book might be the first and the most detailed book to show the things of Wukeju, the imperial examination of military. Based on the book, we can get a lot of valuable information, but in this video, we can't talk about all of them, so I'm going to pick the most important part for the video. And here is the things that we can focus on: the explanation of the unit li and the kinds of bows. The writer mentioned that 1 li equals 10 jin. In the imperial examination of the Qing Dynasty, 1 jin was around 585.79 to 597.12 gram. So here I'm going to choose the 590 gram as the number to calculate. By the way, based on the book, there was a special situation. Generally, in other provinces, the people were more accustomed to using 80% weight compared with the weight in Beijing. In simply saying, there is a thing which is 10 jin in Beijing, and the same thing is moved to the other province. It might be 8 jin. So the bow draw weight of the other province might be lighter than the draw weight of Beijing. Then, the unit in the book was used in the bows of imperial examination, but since this is the fourth unit, which is talked about in the book, it should also be a general unit and used in other things like military bows, hunting bows, etc. Now, the preparation is all ready, and we finally can calculate how many pounds 1 li equals in the Qing Dynasty. And I will use the unit in Beijing as the calculate standard, but not the 80% weight in the other province. 1 li is 10 jin, and 1 jin is around 590 gram. So 1 li is 5,900 gram. Then 1 kilogram is 2.205 pounds. Now we finally can get that 1 li is around 30 pounds. Additionally, I wanted to add some cultural information of the unique weight unit in the Eastern world. Actually, Jin as a traditional weight unit, and still is used in the regions of East Asia and Southeast Asia, but it has been different from before. Like today, in China mainland, Jin has become 市斤. 1 市斤is 500 gram. In Taiwan, it's called 台斤. 1 台斤 is 600 gram. In Hong Kong, Malaysia, and Singapore, the people use 司马斤, and 1司马斤is around 605 gram. Then, in fact, nowadays in Vietnam, 1 jin is around 605 gram, which is similar with 司马斤. And in Japan, 1 jin is 600 gram. But it says that today, Japanese jin is used less and less. If you are interested in this topic, you can follow the update of my language and culture series of videos, because I will make a video to talk about the details there in future. Okay, now let's continue the bow story. According to this French book from the 19th century, and what I learned about the classical weapons, the bows in the Qing Dynasty had 3 types in general: 步弓, the bow for infantry; 马弓, the bow for cavalry; and 硬弓, the hard bow. Now let's talk about the hard bow first. Generally, this type of bow had 3 level bows: 头号, number 1; 二号, number 2; and 3号, number 3. The draw weight of the number 1 hard bow had 12 li, and based on our calculation, the bow weight of number 1 hard bow is about 156 pounds. Next, the draw weight number 2 hard bow was 10 li, so it had about 130 pounds. The last one, the number 3 hard bow, had 8 li, so it was about 104 pounds. Therefore, the 3 different hard bows, all of their draw weights were more than 100 pounds. However, we also need to focus on how to use the hard bow. Typically, it wasn't a battle bow or competition bow like what we imagine, but it was a bow for testing physical strength or might be workout equipment. So, although the Asian people could pull back the bowstring of the hard bow, it can't mean that they always shot arrows with such more than 100 pounds bows. Then, both kinds of bows were just the bows that we think about in our mind, because both are typical battle bows, which are 步弓, the infantry bow, and 马弓, the cavalry bow. According to the book, we also can find that both kinds of bows were not as heavy as 硬弓, the hard bow. In 1760, Emperor Qianlong established the standard. The draw weight of infantry bow was 5 li, which is about 65 pounds. The draw weight of a cavalry bow was 3 li, which is about 39 pounds. So now we can see that it seems that the Asian people were not far stronger than our modern people, and they were the same as us, probably. The final part, other bows of emperors also were more than 100 pounds. Maybe we can find the answer from the bow collections in the Forbidden City nowadays. Just like both bows, very fortunately, we still can see the original name plate of the bows, and the name plates also recorded the draw weight, like this bow, which has 6 li and 2 jin, which is about 80.6 pounds. And maybe this is a royal infantry bow. Although it is not a 100 pounds bow, it is still a very heavy bow. The another bow's draw weight is 4.5 li, which is about 58.5 pounds, and this is more normal. But maybe it was the royal cavalry bow, so I infer that the emperors might be able to use 100 pounds bows smoothly, but maybe normally they used the common bows. But it seems that these royal bows were possibly heavier 10 to 20 pounds. By the way, honestly, both bows are very big indeed. The length of bows are about 1.8 meters. Okay, this is my thinking and what I studied about the bows in the Qing Dynasty, although the battle bows were likely obsolete in the 18th to 19th century, and at the same time, the military of the Qing Dynasty also started to have more and more masked soldiers. Well, the archers really always were in the military, and the archers and their equipment also ate the limited military spending percentage. Today, it has become the history, so I think we're just a watcher or reader of this part of history. So it will be okay that let's just enjoy the history stories or find the interesting points from these classical and traditional weapons. Just like the writer said in this book, our task is not to indicate the reforms because this is the business of the rulers, and today the royal family, nobles, and the rulers also become history. So this is today's video, and thank you for watching. Hope you can like this video. Have a good day. See you next time.